I clicked the button and we're live. So just a quick update on the application. So we will get the results before the end of this week. So probably on Friday, everyone should be aware who has been chosen and what's happening with that. I was planning to get it done before this call, but because of I've been busy with some other things, I didn't manage to make this happen this morning. Anyway, it shouldn't block us from talking about some other things. So few of the things that it would be nice to. So Keith, I think you were not on the call last week. Is that correct? I remember. Okay.
Missed last week.
Yeah, so I was just wondering because we worked on the some of the user stories last week. I just wanted to reconfirm with you if you think that there's have you taken a look on the sheet?
Yeah, I took a quick look again in the week and saw that it had been rationalized. So looks good.
Yeah. Okay. That's great that you have a chance to take a look on that. So then I don't have anything more about that. The reason why I wanted to reconfirm with you was because you were working on the mock-ups earlier. So I
Sure.
thought that you might have a bit of insights on or some feelings or thoughts about which ideas might we could include here.
Sorry, so that last bit again. Which ideas?
Which ideas are good? I mean, like you might have some thoughts or feelings which ideas are good and which ideas are not that good because you might have tried out some of them already. So what I wanted to discuss today was the let me get my docs up and running. So I wanted to ask if there's anything we can work on the here. I found the right doc. Yeah. So on this content types document where we've tried to document which content types we want to include. So is there any work that we could do for this before getting the approval from the product managers on the user stories? So we have now 3 content types. We have a basic page, we have recipe, and we have article. So the team is pretty much on hold until we have chosen a designer, so we can't really make any progress on that. And for that reason, I wanted to try to see what's something that we can make progress on the default content.
Maybe without the designer, it's difficult, but maybe just doing some, well, I was going to say wireframes, but maybe without the designer is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit confusing to start kind of ahead of time before having the designer involved in that sense. So I think we would like to get started on that probably next week, hopefully. Is there? I'm gonna open the initiative just to see what are the next steps that we are going to be taking after.
Sorry, Larry, did you share a link there for this extra spreadsheet? I'm in the stories sheet, and
I sent
hunting
you
around for
the link. Content
there
type.
it is. Great, that's the one I was looking for. Basic page. So in my sketch document, so in relation to the wireframes that I did originally, I think we're there. I had article, recipe. I didn't know if there was going to be a blog. I didn't know what MVP looked like. So I had article, recipe, blog article, possibly publication, depending on how far the scenario is going from the publisher's perspective. That's possibly too far.
So we discussed this. Not sure. I think it was last week, probably, when we discussed that we probably want to lift publication out because of it would make sense in terms of like fulfilling the context on like what is the background of the company that we are building this demo for, but it doesn't make any sense from like the demo's perspective because if we have already one complex data type that we are demoing. So practically, it just adds a bunch of workload for us without really bringing that much extra value.
The
recipe content type is complex enough to be able to practically demo most of the features that we have, like or most of the features that we have related to storing data. Like we need references, we need different types of fields, and this is super confusing because of. So I know there's 2 example content ideas, but now I can't find the other one. Oh, now I can find it. It was on the first hint of the. So we should close the new idea that Kevin has posted because of it is practically a copy of the old one. So we should close it as a duplicate and make sure that all the information from the other one that is relevant is copied to the older idea around this. Would anyone be up to doing that? I can send the links for that.
Yeah. Maybe having the content will be a first step before, a step that we can do without having the designer. Having some default content, maybe.
Yeah, so I sent links for 2 of the ideas. So that's at least something we need to do for sure. We need to update the ideas and make sure they're up to date. Oh, actually, one thing, sorry about jumping to different topics. I don't know if you saw the proposed roadmap for Drupal 8, 8.4 and 8.5. Did anyone see that by any chance? Angie posted that on Twitter. I can send a link for that because it actually, we are now on the Drupal roadmap, so that is officially approved.
The pressure's on.
Yes. Oh, I think I sent the wrong link now. Sorry about that. I will go back and edit the link. Yeah. Oh, this one is the right one. And it has a link for the presentation. So it has two things in the, or three things actually in the what we want to achieve. So it has the design, it has a demo, and it has a default content. So those three things are mentioned on the slides. I can send a screenshot out of that. So that means that those are the things that they, on the very, very, very high level, that they want us to work on. Yeah, just so for that reason, we need to update the default content idea and make sure that we have only one, that we don't have two different ideas, because otherwise the communication might be split in two of these. Yeah. So would anyone be up to merging two of these issues, kind of just reading through what the other one has and making sure that all of the detail, all of the information is on the new one that is still relevant, and then close the other one. So we get rid of the ones we don't have. No one's up to that, I guess.
No, I'm happy to volunteer, but I've obviously not done that before. But first, it's got to be a first time.
Yeah.
Just edit it
if you
down.
want to give a try. Yeah, if you want to just give a try for that, I mean, we can help you on that. I think that would be good experience, like to do something like that.
Oh, are we just talking about the summary, just merging down for the summary area? Yeah.
Yeah. So just making sure that. Okay. So I checked the. So there's no comments on the newer issue, so it's very easy because it's just the summary. There's no comments at all. So it's that for that reason, it's very easy to just close it down. So what we need to do is just make sure that in the issue summary, if there is like something that is very valuable for us, that it's on the other issue. And what? So I will send this one. So I sent the link for the one that we probably want to keep. So we probably want to keep the older one because it has plenty of comments that around this topic. So it's way more difficult to merge this one into the other one because of you would have to read every comment and then try to summarize them.
Yeah.
So it's easier to go all the way around.
I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that at all. I think it ties in with work that I was probably doing with Kevin on the farmers market anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. That would be very helpful because of I've been doing a lot of different kind of writing docs and things. So,
yeah, I'm not so concerned obviously about helping with the summary. It was more just how to close issues and whatnot. But I'll ping you and
yeah. So there's option which is duplicate, close duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just comment there and say like, this is duplicate for this issue. So first update the issue summary of the old issue, the one I sent that we want to keep.
Yeah.
And then after you've done that, you can say that I've merged all of the information from here into here. This was basically duplicate, and I'm closing this down. In general, it's not that much of a big deal. The duplicate one is usually very clear, like obvious one, because it's like these ones are very obviously duplication of like each other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty like usually you don't have to give much reasoning. If you just say that this is duplicate of this, usually it's enough reasoning for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And it would be great if you could also include a link for this doc that we have about the planned structure for the content. The Google Doc that we have, the content types. So also, if anyone who is on that issue wants to contribute for this, they could take a look on the doc and give some comments for us. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
I think I switched the permissions of the. I did something really weird now on the. So, Christina, do you own? I guess you own the doc.
Which doc?
Can you? This one. So for some reason I don't have permission to view that anymore. I will send you. Yeah. Cannot view that anymore.
Oh, okay, let me check.
Is there any other things that we should discuss today? I know this is kind of like we're middle of 2 stages, not that many things to discuss. I think because of I think a lot of things will start happening pretty soon.
I think what Christina said is really a good one to maybe pick up on is what could start in terms of sample content creation.
Oh yeah.
And I think the other thing that I've been thinking about is just what the demo, how the demo experience is going to work.
Yeah, that's a good one. So about the default content itself, the default content creation, we discussed in various different contexts that we would like to have someone who is a professional to write the content. So does anyone remember if there was any more specific thoughts how that could be achieved? How, like, who would this kind of person be? Where could we find this kind of contributors?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's
so,
kind of like my initial.
Well, I don't know if it helps. So this is what Kevin and I were doing over on the when we were working on the farmers market content. So we work with a copywriter, and she was helping us produce copy for example pages there. We can certainly look to work with her again on this. That's something that we can help support. I wonder though if the starting point is in the same way that obviously we need wireframed layouts. I wonder if we also need some almost like a wireframe for the content, in the sense of what types of articles do we want to have, how many recipes do we want to gun for. Just sort of start with the outline of what does MVP look like. In fact, we can get content written very quickly if we need to be honest, if that's a help. I desperately don't want to sort of get in the way of anybody else jumping in on this as well, but just put my hand up and say yes, if you want help, we can.
Yeah, but, so just about that, the reason why I believe we shouldn't work on the specific contents yet is because of the content model is not stable yet. So once we have stabilized the content model a little bit more, I believe then is a good time to try out the content model if it works by creating some content, and then we can proceed with that. But I think what you suggested was a good, very good idea to discuss a little bit of how much of the content do we have, and a little bit of the rough ideas of what would it be like. So about recipes, that also depends on the design. Do we have a recipes listing, or how will we be showing them? I'm gonna look at the ones we had here previously if I can find them. Maybe that will give me a little bit of help on trying to think. What do we need?
I have a question. Is that I have a really clear. I have really clear in my mind how the new theme is going to happen, and I remember I work on the summary. So we decided we said all the phases that it was going to have, but I'm not sure, and I don't know which are the phases for the default content, for the simple content. I mean, at what moment are we going to start to build something?
Oh yeah,
How,
that's a good point. That we haven't created like a step-by-step plan. How are we going to create the default content like we have for the team?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's necessary, but I don't know. I don't have this idea.
I think it would help us stay on track and understand like what is the like how ready are we, or like at which point are we, like so that people are not working on things that we are not ready to do yet. Like a good example would be that if we don't have a content model defined, no one in my opinion shouldn't be working on the content yet at that point, because of, or like especially if we don't have the design locked in, it's difficult for someone to work on. No, not the design. I mean the idea, like what is the product going to be like. It's difficult to build content before that. Yeah, but now that I'm looking at the design, just quickly, it seems like so the front page has links for like a specific articles which will then reference to a certain number of recipes. So let's say there is top 10 vendor breakfast ideas, which would have at least 10 recipes inside it. There is Japanese street food, which would have maybe 5 to 10 recipes.
Yeah.
Which I think, so let's say if we would have 4 of these lift ups on the front page, and each of these would contain between 5 and 10, that would lead us between 20 and 40, but one of them is at least 10 because it's top 10. So yeah, so that means that we need, maybe. So what do you think? Is there a way to, I don't know, it sounds like a substantial amount of content to create like 40 recipes.
Yeah. But
oh, sorry, Christina, go on.
No, go ahead. Don't worry. I don't have anything important.
Okay, all I was going to say was, and this is something that Kevin flagged up, because we actually had the same conversation as this for the farmers market, because there was recipes in there. It's possible, we do need to look into this a bit more, that recipes are copyright free. I don't know. We do need to get this checked, but that could mean we might be able to effectively adapt ones that exist, or even just use them if they're with permission. So yeah, we need to look into that, because that could really help with the recipes.
Yeah,
it could prove that those are easier as a result than the articles themselves.
Yeah, because of the articles, that's something that we definitely will need to write by ourselves. But as you said, recipes could be something that we could potentially copy from somewhere else. Yeah, good. Thank you for pointing that out, because I've heard about that from the previous calls or discussions, but I didn't remember that anymore. So if that would be possible, it would be very much helpful. We should definitely add that to the issue summary as well. That's one of the things that we need to figure out. That if we are allowed to do so, like if within these restrictions that we have in Drupal core, this is possible. And that's something that I could try to figure out.
I was going to say that maybe we could try to work in a document before copying the other issue, the other summary, and try to work on it in a document, suggesting some stuff, and then finally
posting it. Yeah. I actually now kind of, given that there is at least we are missing the steps, so kind of like a plan and all of that. So it would be useful to probably work on that in a doc. So so Keith, could you just create like a Google Doc and open up the access for us for everyone to modify it and send it there? And probably you could just write like the issue summary that about the two of the issues over there, and then we could I could at least work on the kind of like a plan, which would be the steps for the default content, and add it on that, and then you could post it when it's like already in the Google Doc. Does that sound sensible for you? Yeah. So we could make a little bit of group effort on creating the issue summary, because if we want to make a very good issue summary on the issue, it takes a substantial amount of work to make it happen. Sure. Like I think we worked on the. I'm not saying that the one on the create a new user-facing core theme is particularly good issue summary, because it's not that much of a summary, but we worked on that for like at least maybe one day with Bojan or something like that. So we did invest a lot of time on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we met like 3 times and for like 2 hours each or something like that. So that's like 6 hours. So almost a work day. And then all the adjustments after that makes it like, because it was just the beginning. Yeah. So it can take a lot of time. So for that reason, I'm also happy to help with that. But if you could just get it started, and then I could help with that. So
I'll start a Google Doc, do a basic merge, and then share it out.
Yeah. So just about the amount, also what is related for that is that even if it's just the 40 recipes and or quotes to the chest, but we will need to figure out a way to manage the content somehow, like, because we can't manage the content in a traditional way because we have to be able to install it on the site, and we don't have that kind of feature by default in Drupal core. So was there any discussions around what would be the best way to implement that from the technical perspective? Like, should we write the content in YAML, or should we write it in JSON, or something? Some ideas about that.
We are. Sorry, go ahead. Well, we are working with a module that is creating default content, and we have several format files that we can use. But I don't know how it's going to suit with the installation profile and that. But I can share with you the link to the project.
Okay. Is it a contributed project or?
Yeah. I'm searching.
Yeah. Because of we probably need something very minimalistic to make it as easy to implement in core as possible. It's more to do with the fact that, like, I would like to have as easy tool for creating the content so that the people who are actually writing the content would be able to make modifications and would be able to somehow maintain that, so that it's not like whenever someone wants to make a small modification for the content, like someone from the team who has been building the thing has to make the changes.
Yeah.
I create default content. Okay, interesting.
Not sure if it's the good path for core, but at least for having an idea about the file format or whatever.
It doesn't look it doesn't look that big. I mean, it's like 100 lines. Yeah. Some events, yeah, like 400 lines of code. So what's in the example default content? There's just default content. Yeah, I didn't look at what's in, like, what is it doing yet, but I will take a look on this because of it looks like one of the more minimalistic solutions for this. So maybe we can strip out some things. Who knows, but
yeah, maybe just to take some ideas.
Yeah. Do you think they would be interested in working on contributing some of this for Drupal core?
Yes, for sure. I'm pretty sure, or otherwise I will kill them.
Okay. They are her co-workers, so it sounds like you have an interesting and scary relationship between them. Yeah, I mean, it would be great if they are interested in this topic, like about the default content, if they could help us out building a good tool for core for maintaining that. So next week is our call during the European office hours. I don't know, would it be possible to maybe someone who has been working on that, could they maybe come to the call? It would be great to meet them.
Yeah.
And maybe you could ask some specific questions about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the technical ones are better suited for them.
Yeah, so we could just we can just then ask them whatever we want to. And before that, I can take a look on this by myself, and I might have some more specific questions by then.
Sure. Okay.
I will just add. Oh, you linked it there, so I don't link it again. Great. Yeah, this one looks like a possible solution for this. Is there any other possible solutions for this? Have anyone seen any other ideas?
I have no idea.
Are you using this for default content on your client sites?
No, we are using it for our projects, for creating default content, so the QA can test everything, so the client can see the web with some content. We actually create the content based on client content, but at the end, most of the time we remove it.
Yeah.
Just a migration that we don't run on the final deployment.
I guess this would need to include the ability to support block content if there is any, images, all of that side of things as well.
Yeah, like any type of entities, like blocks, the block configurations itself, we can place in the config.
Yeah.
If we have custom blocks, we will need to be able to migrate the block content there. So it cannot be only for nodes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I posted another example of default content, but that's like a little bit more, at least when I took a quick look, it seems like it's it has more things inside it. But in core, it's like when we have less is more, because it's usually easier to get it in when you have something that is less complex. Yep. So it would be good to kind of get some kind of an idea about what kind of solution that we want to go with, and then after that we can actually discuss that with the framework managers and get their ideas on that as well, once we have some kind of an idea from ourselves. So I'm quite sure that they are happy to give their thoughts on what would be a good solution for that as well.
Yeah. They also, the one that you posted has also a link to another one.
Oh, yet another one.
Yeah.
I see.
So it looks like it has something on Drupal 8 also in the video, but has also some stuff.
Yeah. Keith, you were about to say something.
I had a question. I just wondered whether there was what level of technical restrictions that we probably need to consider now that affect how we actually are putting together the brief around the content. If we're including things like images, so how large is this theme going to be? If we start putting great looking images in there, then obviously some of those images are going to be pretty large. Else they won't look any good. Is this? It'd be just interesting to know if there's been any conversations, because I might have missed them, around how this is going to work. Is it something that gets grabbed and installed when you say I want to install the demo? Affect Drupal core as such. So is there sort of a lightweight module that does that? I don't know.
So we've discussed this. I think we have agreement that for the minimum viable product, everything will be inside Drupal core. So if there's images, it will all be on every package that everyone downloads.
Okay.
So we will need to also figure out what are the restrictions for that. However, for the future, like when we get a little bit more professional about doing this kind of things, we definitely want it to work in a way that it will be downloaded from Drupal.org. But because of if you want to go on that track, it will certainly take longer, because of the modifications for Drupal core will be more complicated, and we will also need some infrastructure modifications and such. So we don't want to go with that for the minimum viable product. The question is, who is responsible for this kind of decisions? Like about how big can our team be in terms of the space it takes on the hardware. I'm just looking at how big is the package at the moment. Where can I see that? So I think it's in zip, it's 90 megabytes. Yeah. So I think we need to ask about this from them. Like, how much is there? How much is it? How much are we allowed to add into that? And I don't have any personal experience, like how well can the images and the content. I think the content itself would compress pretty well, but I don't know about the images. How well would they compress? Like, let's say if you have a 10 megabytes of images, how much will it affect the zip itself?
We'll need to take care, for example, having images with the same tone, well, the same, for example, if they are blue. For example, an image that doesn't have too many colors, it compresses better, so the weight is lower. So we will need to take to think on that things.
Yeah. On the other hand, I wouldn't like to restrict our design decisions based on the image size or the color of the images or amount of colors used on the image. So yeah, so it'd be good to get a definite answer. Like maybe the answer is that like you can grow the package, like you don't care if you double the size. Or maybe the answer is that like if you grow it by 2 megabytes, then we are already concerned about this. So hopefully it is something in between, but especially if you need to include like 40 recipes or something like that, that means that we will need quite a few pictures as well.
Well, we can just add the big picture for the one that is going to be bigger. For example, if we are going to highlight one of them, we can add the big image only for one of them, and the other can be smaller.
Yeah, but then we need to also take care of that on the design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will write down these things, or actually, I'm going to just listen to the call and write them down afterwards. It's easier. Yeah, some very, very good points about the default content. It's interesting because of, so I'm not very, I have to tell that I'm not very experienced with default content. So many of these restrictions and constraints come as a surprise for me because of like, I'm not really that experienced with that. But I think it's a good opportunity to learn about default content as well.
Yeah.
And not only default content, but about shipping that in Drupal, because no one has done that before. In Drupal. In other CMSs, yes, but maybe that's also one thing to take a look at, like how do other CMSs solve this problem?
Yeah.
Because there is dozens of CMSs that actually ship with default content.
Yeah, Angie Byron did a talk on this at DrupalCon Dublin. So it'd be good to just refer back to that and
yeah, I actually
get the list from there.
Yeah, I saw her presentation, and that's like it motivated to work on this even more than before.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it was like she was.
It's that moment where she's gone.
Yeah, she was not necessarily highlighting our initiative there, but it was still kind of saying that this is what we need.
Yeah. Yeah, all these other CMSs do this, we do this.
Yeah,
it was one of those presentations.
Yeah. Anyway, I think there's plenty of things to work on now during the next week. So tomorrow we will publish the designer once we've let everyone know what is the status of the applications, and then next week we can also start figuring out the next steps for the design. But I think it's good that we can now do some work around the default content, so we can progress on that. Besides that, I don't have anything else to discuss today. Does anyone else have any more points that you wanted to discuss today?
Well, I just mentioned earlier about the the nature of the demo, but I'm actually thinking now there's so much to focus on from what we've discussed today. That's probably enough to keep us going, and maybe we discuss more, because I think a lot of that other the whole demo conversation is very much in with the wireframing design as well. Anyway, so could make sense to defer that.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks everyone for showing up today, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Let's keep discussing on the Slack, and Keith, could you send me a link for the doc once you've created that, so I can do some work on that? Actually, I wanted to one more thing. I wanted to ask you: is any one of you planning to go any events in the near future where we could sprint on this?
Next one.
Baltimore, anyone?
Not Baltimore, but DrupalCamp Spain and maybe Frontend United. Not sure, depending.
Yeah, I will be going to Frontend United, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be at Baltimore.
You will be in Baltimore. Yeah. So even though most of us won't be in Baltimore, I probably will go there, and I will probably try to create a small sprint around this. So that's just a good kind of like it's in a little bit more than a month. So it would be great if we could get something done before that. I will try to create kind of like ideas around like what could be the things that we could work there. But it's just a good opportunity to get like a big boost on the amount of work the people work on this, because of a lot of new contributors show up there. And I feel like on this initiative, like this is one of the initiatives that is more newbie friendly, I would say. We deal with a lot of things. So we deal with things that are more complex, but we deal also with things that are relatively simple for someone new in if you compare them to other things that there is to contribute to Drupal.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it would make a lot of sense for new contributors to contribute into this. And for that sense, it also makes sense for us to provide them some work. So I will try to think what that could be. And then we could try to create a plan for the DrupalCon, like what things should we have done before that and to allow working happening during that time. Just so that you know that that's one of the things that we should definitely focus on, the DrupalCon sprints, because it's like a couple hundred people, and it could be like 5 to 10 people working on this for a day. So that is a substantial amount of work that could be done during that time.
Yep, that would be great.
Then if anyone else is going to Frontend United, we can also plan a sprint in Frontend United.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly look at the Drupal call. I'm sure that there is no, because 0.4. I'm just looking at the Drupal 8 release cycle. When will it be? So what is the? So Alpha 1 will be released on week of July 31st. So that's kind of like the deadline if you want to get something in before. If you want to get something in for the 8.4 release, we have to get it before that date. So if there is any sprints happening in Europe around summer, so maybe
Drupal summer.
So Keith, you're based in UK. Is that correct?
Yep.
Where about in UK?
We're just we're near Winchester. We're not far from London.
Okay, so if we want, and if there's need, I can try to plan a sprint and maybe with Keith in London, and maybe we can try to get someone to sponsor Christina and some others who are important people and are located in Europe that could, like, in affordable matter, come there. Maybe Roy,
Yeah.
and have maybe a weekend over or something like that, and get a lot of things done. Let's see if that's needed, but depending on what is the stage at that point.
Yeah, we can definitely get some ideas together on that. No problem.
Yeah. So so first goal is anyway trying to get the new the Baltimore, something for the Baltimore, so that something can be worked on in there.
Yes.
Okay. So thanks everyone, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.